welcome back to my channel. It's Linda. I'm so glad that you found this video. I posted this video on those grids January 5th, and I chose that little grid right there as a jumping off point for today's video. I decided I'm going to use that in my sketchbook and make a bigger piece. That's like almost an 8 by 10 piece of paper right there in my sketchbook. I am starting off with my Stabilo pencil, and it is water soluble, and I'm trying to follow the layout of that very random graphic. To me, when I looked at that, it looked like 3 people in an urban setting. I don't know what it looks like to you. Let me know if you see 3 people in this urban setting. And I decided to go with it, with a representational piece that looks like an urban setting. So I wanted to keep the value layout. So I want the darks where the darks were, I want the lights where the lights were, and I want the midtones where the midtones were in that little graphic. But I'm definitely going to change the look of it. It reminded me of 3 people. I don't know why, I saw farmers in the big city for the first time. I have no idea why my mind went there, but here it is. I'm putting it out there. I saw that, and I'm just going to go with it. I am going to be using my Nova colors, which I have out there already. If you notice, I've already got some colors all laid out on my gel plate that I'm using as my palette. That's because I used those colors for a previous session that I did, and I didn't want to waste them, so I'm just using them. And I decided, you know what? Let me jump right into another video and use these colors. What I have on there is phthalo blue. These are all Nova colors on there, by the way. So it's phthalo blue, the red shade. I have pyrrole red, and I have cad yellow medium, as well as black and white. The black and white are, I think, Liquitex, either that or golden. They're not the Nova colors. I'm also going to continue to use the Neocolor 2 water-soluble color crayons, and I'm going to add Collage for sure. This is also, because it's reminding me of I don't know why 3 farmers in this big city. I don't know why I did, but I'm thinking I need a little bit of, graffiti on the background because we're in a big city. The farmers came out. I don't know how I came up with that in my head, but I made a whole story in my head about these 3 characters who I've got going on here. All from that experiment and that exercise in limiting myself to a dark, a light, and a midtone. I used black, white, and brown. I'm going to call it brown. And that's all I used, and I used them in different ways across, I think it was, 9 squares? It might have been more. And it really did, as I said in that video, limiting the palette frees the mind to wander and to really hone in on what looks nice, what doesn't. The less stuff going on, the easier it is for you to put together a nice composition. So if you limit yourself to 3 values, dark, light, midtone, you can really put together a cohesive, you can easily put together a cohesive composition. And I feel like those little squares, those little tiny paintings that I did in my sketchbook and posted on January 5th of this year, 2026, really helped me hone in on some of the compositional elements that I really like. And this one This one is really helping me with what I'm doing right now. You can see the rest of them behind the book, actually. So I did 12 of them. I've forgotten I had done 12, 6 on each page. Those were so much fun. If you haven't seen the January 5th video, I highly recommend it. It was a lot of fun. It was called Limiting is Freedom, or Freedom is Limiting. And it was basically 3 colors, black, white, and brown. And it was so much fun to do. And it really, truly is influencing this entire piece that I'm doing. So I'm just going to keep working my way through this now. And I'm adding some flesh colors to my 3 little farmers. I'm going to call them the farmers. That's what I'm calling them. The farmers. Farmers off the farm. Farmers in the big city. I don't know. I feel like I'm in a Fred Astaire, Judy Garland musical. What was that? When they were on the farm, and I can't even remember what it was called. It was such a good movie, though. Oh, I loved it. Anyway, I love all those musicals. Anyway, it reminded me of farmers. I don't know why. Yeah, that would be something interesting. I would love to hear from all of you who see something different. Tell me what you see in that little thumbnail that I did. No, it was a kind of big thumbnail. It was a 3x3, 3 inches by 3 inches. But tell me what you see in it. Okay, here I am wiping my brush off on some paper in another sketchbook. This is how I use up all the extra paint. I wipe it off on pages in a sketchbook, or in a dictionary, or in a medical dictionary, or in a book, or a junk journal. And that way when I flip to that page, I have a starting off point. So you might see that being worked on in a later video. But yeah, I hate to waste paint, so I'm always throwing it on something. The paint that's on my gel plate there, I will pick that up with another color. I'll wait for that to completely dry, and then I will roll another color over it, put my paper down, wait for it to dry, and I will peel it up, and I will get a lovely, colorful collage piece, a collage paper to be used later on in another piece. Who knows? It could be used on, I don't know, another one of these type of paintings. So that's another question I have for everyone. I have been, as you know, teaching myself abstract this entire past year, and I feel like I'm in the infancy stage. I haven't even learned how to stand up and toddle yet. I'm still crawling around. I might not even be crawling around. I might still be the infant laying on the blanket looking up at the mobile. I don't know. I'm hoping that I'm inching closer to getting on my feet. But that I'm going to call pure abstract, where I am truly, truly just going in, making some marks on a page, and then intuitively picking up paint and moving it around and coming up with something. Oh, I'm sorry, my head is in the way. I am really sorry. I was getting in and doing some of the eyes with a paintbrush. I'm sorry that I got in the way. But anyway, back to what I was saying. I feel like that part where I'm working just intuitively with just loops and circles and squares, that's pure abstract to me. I've got to pull that out. This seems to be a little bit easier for me to navigate because it's representational. I've got figures I'm looking at. I know what I'm looking at. I know that my figures are going to be standing there. Even though I'm using an abstract as my jumping off point, I saw something in that abstract in my head. I saw 3 figures and I translated it to this. Do you like that? That's my question. Do you like this style as opposed to the other style, or do you like both of them? Like me, I feel like both of the styles, both the pure abstract and this, which I'm going to call representational abstract, I'm going to coin that phrase right now. You heard it today, people. Linda Cole said representational abstract. I don't know. Could that be a movement? Maybe. Who knows? But I said it here today. Anyway, do you like this style? Do you like pure abstract? Do you like pure representational, realistic? Tell me what you like. I like it all. And the only reason why I was working strictly in abstract all last year is on the YouTube channel is because I am trying to teach it to myself. It does not come easily to me. It's so difficult. I feel like I'm really taxing my brain. Even though I'm working intuitively and letting myself feel my way through the painting, it's taxing my brain because I got to keep tamping down the part of my brain that is saying, wait a minute, what is that supposed to be? It doesn't have to be anything. It's representing things in my head, but it doesn't have to look like anything to anybody except a good composition, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed it's always a good composition. But what is it that you like? Because I like it all. I like it all, and I really want to explore it all on this channel. I still want to lean towards this mixed media because the collage aspect, mixing all kinds of things together, paper, paint, crayon, alcohol, inks, you name it. I really, really enjoy all of this. I like all the texture that the layers of everything bring to the piece. I like all the elements that are thrown in to the piece. And if you're like me, I don't want to pigeonhole myself into saying, oh, I'm only going to do figurative. I'm only going to do portraits. I'm only going to do, realistic. I can't do that. My style is my style. I feel like no matter what I do, my style comes through. I'm very loosey-goosey. I'm not tight. I try not to be tight. In the beginning, when I started painting, interestingly enough, when I first started painting, I was working in watercolor and soft pastels, which I absolutely love. Love soft pastels. And one day on my channel, I will be doing a soft pastel. But what I found myself doing in the early days is making everything so tight. I worked so small and tight, and I took a workshop with somebody, and I don't remember her name. She came over to me, the instructor, and she said, why are you working on such a small piece of paper, and why are you working so small? Work big. Use your arm, use your wrist, get your shoulder involved. And I have never forgotten that. That was like, oh my gosh, maybe 38 years ago. I have never, ever forgotten that. And when I've taught art, back in New York, I used to do adult education, and I used to do what they call it. It was for enrichment classes in a school district on Saturday mornings for kids who were interested in painting. And they would come to the school, and I taught art. And I would always tell them the same thing. Don't just use your hand. Use your wrist. Get your elbow. Get your arm. Get your whole shoulder involved. Get up. I used to do this thing that I called musical painting, where the kids would come in. There would be a piece of paper, a big piece of paper in front of their spot where they would sit. A palette already with paint on it, a brush and some water. And it was up on an easel with a hard board behind it. And I would play music. The kids would stand in front of their painting, and I would play music, and they would have to paint until the music stopped. And once the music stopped, everybody took a step to the left to the next painting, their partner painting, whoever was standing next to them, and the music would start again, and they would lift up the brush, and they would paint on the next painting. By the time that we were done, everybody had worked their way around the room so that all the kids in the class painted on everybody else's painting. And it's so interesting, the dynamic, because some kids loved it, but there were always one or two kids that did not want anybody to touch their paintings. However, and I got that, I did understand that. However, I was trying to get them to think outside the box. Like, okay, so you started painting a tree, but by the time you got back to your painting, where did your tree go? Well, you know what? You can get back that tree, but now you have all this other stuff on your paper that you can use and manipulate and have an even richer painting by just the placement of the paint by somebody else. You have the energy of every other kid in this room plopping their paint down on your paper, and everybody's painting always came out great, because I did at the end, when you came back to your painting, then you had the rest of the class to do what you wanted on your painting. You could bring everything back and use whatever you wanted, and everybody always walked out of there happy. And I would have all of the other kids sign the back of the painting so that they would remember their fellow students in the room, and you went home with a community painting. I just thought that was a lovely, lovely idea to get them outside of their own heads. And now back to this piece. As you can see, I have really layered on some collage paper. I have some asemic writing there. That's just simply paper that I took marker, and I think I used a Posca paint marker, and you write on it, but you really don't write words. It's kind of looks like words, but it's really not words. It's called asemic writing, and it kind of looks like print or script, but it isn't. It really doesn't say anything. And I'm auditioning. I'm taking out my other papers and I'm auditioning some pieces of paper, collage elements. Do I want to place them somewhere? Do I want them in my paper, in my piece? And I call it auditioning because I'm like laying it on there. Do I like it there? Don't I like it there? And then I pull things away that I don't like. I was trying to maintain that dark area, and all those other pieces that I just put up there were a little too light, pulled away from the darkness. This piece that I'm laying down now keeps in with the dark, but when you zoom in, you can see some texture. There's definite texture on it. And I'm coming to the end of this, I think. It really has come together. So there is, on the right-hand side, up in the corner, there's the original 3x3 thumbnail that I used to influence this. I am adding a little bit of more, a little white texture up there. It was a collage paper, that one right there, that I am utilizing and saying, you know what, I think I need a little bit, I just want to grab some more white in there. Lighten that area up a little bit so that I can highlight that really is my light side. And I'm layering, and here's a little bit more asemic writing. I think I'm going to put that in. Do I put that in? Yep, I do. There you go. And I'm noticing I need something up at the top. I do have a piece of paper that I'm going to use. I tried this first and I was like, nope, no. I liked it, but nope, doesn't do it for me. Let me put something else up there. And I have this paper right here. It's got some black spots on it, and it's just enough of a little something to put an interest in that one little spot. So if I liked it in one spot, I'll put it in the other spot. And I laid it too far into the dark, did not like it. So I was able to lift it up and lay it down back in the white area. And I'm done. I hope you enjoyed the process, and I hope you enjoy the finished piece. Here it is up against the thumbnail, and I can't wait to see you back here again inside my studio.